Hello and welcome to Kawai Direct, a new series of videos made for Kawai dealers and distributors. My name is James. I work in the Overseas Business Division here at Kawai Japan, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the KDP120. There's lots to cover, so let's get started. So as I mentioned in the introduction there, the main purpose of this video is to provide information about the KDP120 for dealers and distributors. Now I'm aware there's going to be quite a broad range of people watching this video, maybe from a dealer who's been in the business for 20-30 years and they already know a lot about Kawai, to a new distributor who's just started handling our products and would like to know more information. But regardless of your level of knowledge or experience, I hope you can find this video useful and that the information helps you to learn more about the KDP120. Now, the structure and content of this video is going to be very similar to the PowerPoint presentation on the KDP series. So if you haven't already received this data, please contact your Kawai representative who will make it available to you. Now, to make this video more manageable, we're going to be breaking it down into a series of sections. First, we'll kick off with a brief history of Kawai and why this is significant to the KDP120. Then I'll explain the goals of the KDP120 and the kind of customer who might be interested in a product such as this. Next, I'll look at the core features of the product, primarily the keyboard action and the piano sound. Then we'll examine the changes and improvements that have been made to this updated model. Finally, we'll discuss some of the alternative products or the step-up models that the customer might want to consider depending on their usage requirements or their budget. But before we take a deep dive into the KDP120 itself, I thought it might be useful to briefly outline the company history of Kawai and why it's significant. So, as I'm sure you're aware, Kawai is a Japanese company with subsidiaries around the world. There's various aspects to Kawai's business, but the primary focus is the manufacturing of acoustic and digital pianos. So Kawai was founded in 1927 by a chap called Koichi Kawai. Koichi was a genius inventor and held many patents for his creations. In fact, Koichi was the first person in Japan to design and build a complete acoustic piano keyboard action, a considerable contribution to the Japanese piano industry. Under Koichi Kawai, Kawai grew steadily and by the 1950s was producing around 1,500 pianos per year. Koichi passed away suddenly at the age of 70 and was succeeded by Shigeru Kawai in 1955. Shigeru was a master businessman, but he also understood the manufacturing business. He built new factories, allowing Kawai to expand its piano production. He also established Kawai music schools, training centers for piano technicians, and a network of shops, allowing Kawai to sell directly to consumers. So under Shigeru, Kawai expanded its business both domestically and overseas. Shigeru passed on the company leadership to his son, Hirotaka Kawai, in 1989. Now, Hirotaka was responsible for updating the manufacturing process, for implementing the automation and robotics at the factories. He also expanded Kawai's production outside of Japan, into the US and elsewhere in Asia. Today, Hirotaka Kawai remains the company president as the third generation of his family to lead the company. So why is this history significant? Well, 3 generations of proud family leadership with over 90 years of experience building some of the world's finest pianos. That's an exceptional achievement. And while there'll be people out there such as yourselves in the piano industry who are familiar with the Kawai brand, there'll be a lot of people out there who are not familiar with Kawai. Now, I believe that customers really like to learn about the brand that they're buying into, and the KDP120 is an exceptional opportunity to introduce the Kawai brand. Kawai has such a rich legacy that very few other companies can compare with. Therefore, I think it makes sense to spend a little time explaining this wonderful history to the customer. Now, it's probably not necessary to tell the full Kawai family history to the customer, but maybe you can take the opportunity to say, Kawai, they've been in business since 1927, producing pianos for over 90 years. The founder was the first person in Japan to build a full acoustic piano keyboard action, an incredible contribution to the industry. Make the customer aware of our exceptional legacy. Make the customer aware of Kawai's core brand values of excellence, of dedication, and a desire to bring music to everyone. And from music to everyone to a piano for everyone, let's talk about the KDP120. Now, the KDP120 was officially announced by Kawai Japan at the beginning of June as a successor to the KDP110. The goals of this product, as with all Kawai digital pianos really, is to provide a good quality keyboard action, authentic sound, useful features at an affordable, competitive price. And especially with the KDP, is to provide a really good introduction to the Kawai brand. Now, I don't like to use the term entry-level to describe pianos, because I feel it can undermine the quality of the instrument. Instead, I think of Kawai producing good pianos, great pianos, and excellent pianos, and the KDP120 is a really good piano. So KDP120 is ideally suited to a serious beginner, maybe someone who's been learning the piano on a keyboard, using some lessons on YouTube, and now it's time they want to start playing the piano properly. They need something with 88 full-size weighted keys, with really good quality sound, fixed pedals inside a self-contained instrument that looks nice in their home. So KDP120 is the first proper piano, real piano that the customer will buy. So that kind of customer is ideally suited to a KDP120. But by the same token, we can perhaps also say that the KDP120 is maybe suitable for an intermediate level pianist. Maybe someone who already owns an acoustic piano, an upright piano, a grand piano, and looking for a second piano, a digital piano, that allows them to adjust the volume, plug in a pair of headphones, and continue to practice in the evening without disturbing their family members. So something like this would be suitable also for a KDP120. So we can see that at both ends of the spectrum, from the serious beginner to the intermediate level pianist, there's a broad range of customers who will be suitable for a KDP120. So that covers the goals of a KDP120 and the kind of customer who might be interested in this sort of product. In the next section, we'll be looking at the core features of the instrument, namely the keyboard action and piano sound.